a little bit about LinkedIn. While social media is still a mystery for most of us in general, I need to all agree that LinkedIn is one of the best business development tools that's ever been created. I've been in sales for over 25 years, and I can tell you that nothing really compares to LinkedIn from a standpoint of getting new business, finding new business. And when I ask attorneys how many people are on LinkedIn, I always see a big showing of hands, and then I ask how many people are actually getting business from LinkedIn, and then the hands all come down, and maybe there's one or two people that claim to have gotten business, which is good but not good enough. I really want to go through three factors today that help to develop business. Number one is having a good profile. Number two is making sure that you have the right network tabulated for LinkedIn. And number three is how to use some of the tools to actually proactively get business on LinkedIn. Number one is the profile. As you can see from the screen, my profile is up. I've got a picture. I've got my name. I've got my business. I've got my past. There's posts you can add. There's a summary. Always recommend a professional summary being written. I like to do it in third person. Steve Fretzin is regarded as the blank, 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 blank. You get the point. And that way it's not so much I do this, etc. I take people through a little bit of a journey. Remember, this is your online resume, so you really want to make sure you give some specifics that are relevant to your audience. I've been featured in the Tribune, Cranes, Entrepreneur.com. I write for the Chicago Daily Law Bulletin and the National Law Review. You know, I would imagine for attorneys that that's an important thing to know about me, that I write on the subject that I also speak on and coach on. Okay, so summary is very important. Moving on, your experience, your businesses, your jobs, companies that you're running. Something that I like to do is I like to have recommendations. Now, not everybody can do these, meaning some bigger firms have some policies around recommendations. Small practice and solos don't, for the most part. So, you know, here's 93 recommendations. And these are attorneys talking about the work that I've done with them. Feel free to read these. They're you know, it's a lot like Yelp. You want to kind of know what, you know, the restaurant is about before you eat there. If you're going to look to hire me or hire someone in any category or an attorney, it might be nice to read a couple of positive comments about that individual. And because they're have to be written by the client, then it means that, you know, you can't just put, hey, this guy's great, you know, and then Bob. It's gotta be a real testimonial. So those are really important to have if you're able to. In addition to that, you want to just make sure that your profile is complete. If you don't have your school, if you don't have your interests, there's always reasons for people to not reach out to you, and you don't want to give them any reasons. So you know, more information is usually better when it comes to, you know, the validation that you're a professional, that you're experienced, that you know what you're doing. Okay, so having a good profile, again, like having a resume that's complete, very important to have. The second step of LinkedIn, and again, I'm making this, you know, very short so that you're not spending hours and hours on this, which you could do. I'm trying to keep it to about 5 minutes. So you can go to my network up here at the top, click in Add Contacts, and this is an opportunity for you to add contacts. So instead of being accepting an invitation or asking for a single invitation, LinkedIn allows you to take all of your emails, puts them into a system, and then you can invite a group of people, 100, 200, 300 people all at once. And for some of us that want to grow our LinkedIn networks dramatically, this is a great way to go. So whether it's Gmail or Outlook or whatever, you can pull from here. But think about what you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to keep things very tight and neat, and you only want to connect with your clients and you want to connect with your best strategic partners, you know, keep your network very small. If you're like me and you're more of a promoter and you've got things to say and you've got things to share and you want to sort of have a following and drive your brand, you know, you're going to want to have a much larger following of LinkedIn. I think I'm sitting at about 4,500. I might get that up to 5,000 by the end of the year. And again, mostly attorneys, mostly people that I'm interested in connecting with because they're people that I can help and they're people that can do business with me. They're people who are interested in the writing and the commentary that I have. Okay. Now the last part I want to go through with you that I think is really interesting and great is how do I actually get business? So I have a profile, I have contacts. Now, how do I leverage those contacts? So if you go to this top search bar and you type in a name, and let's put in my friend Adam. And Adam Citron is a guy I've known for years. He's a former client in the IT space. And I'm interested in knowing that, some of the lawyers that he knows, for example. It could be general counsels, it can be managing partners, it can be CEOs. It doesn't really matter, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on his 500 plus connections, and that's going to open up this box of 10 faces and names. And what I want to do here, because he probably has a few thousand connections, and if it's only showing me 10, that would mean I'd have to go through hundreds of screens to look through all of his people. I'm going to use this magnifying glass, and over here I'm going to type in, let's see, CEO. I want to meet CEOs. So I hit enter, and he's got 194 results, people that have CEO in their profiles. So here's a guy, Rich Lyons, and I'm interested in this Lyons Consulting Group. Okay, so I can right click on his name, open a link in a new tab, open that tab, and see what Rich Lyons is all about. He's in the IT space as well, and I don't have to go through his details, but again, if this is someone that I'm interested in meeting, I can go back to Adam and I can say, hey Adam, I see you know Rich Lyons, this is someone I'm interested in meeting. What do you think? And he says, oh yeah, you guys should definitely meet. Or, I don't even know this guy, how did he get in my LinkedIn? So depending on his response will determine whether or not he's the right person to introduce me to Rich Lyons, or maybe there's someone else knows Rich Lyons where I can get in the door without it being a cold call or being a kind of a cold introduction. So that's one of the ways to use this. I'll do one more search just to demonstrate again what this is. And so I'm looking at, let's see, David Panich. All right, this is an old friend of mine. Again, I'm going to go into David Panich. He's also in the IT and management consulting space. I'm going to click on his 500 plus. Now in this scenario, I want to meet, let's say, attorneys. So I'm going to type in attorney, hit enter, and boom, 35 results. So whether I know him well or I know him incredibly well, if I really wanted to, I could go back to him and pick out a couple of attorneys that look interesting to me, and I could ask him how he knows these people. What does he think is the best way to make an introduction? Would he be willing to do that for me? And your best contacts will. People that you don't know well enough, you might want to hold off on asking them for a favor or asking them for an introduction until you get to know them better. But one way or the other, this is a great tool to be able to go in and figure out your connections. These are these second-degree connections that are really important. And if you spend a half an hour a week going through 2 or 3 of your connections, right-clicking on these names and reading about them and saying, wow, that's someone I really would like to meet, and now I know that David can introduce me, that's a great way to go. Another way to go, if you'd like, is this advanced search feature right here. And what happens here is it opens up a search area, and what we can do is we can go in here and we can put in someone's title. So in this scenario, I'm going to put in general counsel, okay? And I'm looking for someone who's currently a general counsel. And because I'm in the Chicagoland area and I'd rather not travel today, I'm going to put in the zip code of Chicago with a 50-mile radius. I'll actually bring it down to 10. So again, a very general search of general counsel currently located in the Chicagoland area, and I'm looking for a second-degree connection. So again, first-degree connections, people I already know. Don't need to meet them. Already know them. Third degree and group members are people that are kind of far away. They're going to be very difficult to meet. Second degree connections, again, a friend of a friend, that I want to do. Click on that, and then I'm going to hit search, and let's see what happens. 1,300 results of general counsel, or someone has the title general counsel in their LinkedIn name. So again, here's a COO, a general counsel at Alliance Creative Group, and again, I can right-click and open a new tab. Another option is quickly, we have 103 shared connections. I can click on that. It'll tell me a few people that know Paul. Okay, Robert, Mark, and Bibik. Now, I don't know Robert, Mark, or Bibik very well, But because we have 103 shared connections, I have to believe that someone I know knows Paul well enough to make an introduction for me. So this is how we use the search feature. That's very, very simple. Now, keep in mind too, I have the premium, which is about $30 a month. And what I can do with this that's a little different is it allows me to do some more refined searching. So if you go to the bottom here, you'll see here it allows me to actually look at specific types of companies or different industries. So let's say I just want to focus on the financial services industry. So now it's general counsels in the financial service industry. Now we're down to 99 results. But again, if I'm focused on the financial industry, if I'm focused on accounting, if I'm focused on machining, airlines, whatever it is, this allows me to search for the people in LinkedIn that have those specific criteria, and then even better, who knows them that knows me. So again, Brad Boucher, Brian Sugar, Jeff Tarosian, and Jennifer Levin. These are people that I could possibly contact and say, hey, I'm looking to meet Brad. How do you know Brad? Do you think you could make an introduction? And I wouldn't do it through email. I would do it through a phone call. I would do it through a personal introduction. You can certainly connect with these people and mention other people's names, but it's always better to get a quality introduction. So again, if we think about this as a whole, we've got a profile that's complete and professional. We have the right people in our network to draw from, and we have a couple of different ways to search our connections. And that's going to happen through putting their name in and searching through their contacts or through the advanced search. One way or the other, if you like to sit at your desk and you don't want to go out and network and meet a bunch of people and go to these mixers, you could literally sit at your desk for a half an hour a week, half an hour a day, whatever you want to do, and just work LinkedIn the right way, and you're going to get some good results from it. I know I have and my clients have. So again, this is Steve Fretzin, Origination Station. Hopefully this LinkedIn tutorial was helpful for you, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.